Am I the a-hole for not attending a wedding with my family that we weren't invited to? Alright, this week has been super hectic and full of stress. I, 24 female, was not going to make this post in the first place because I thought I was doing the right thing, but my family has basically convinced me that I'm not. I'll try to keep things short and straightforward. Last week, there was a wedding of one of our family friends. For some information, every major holiday, Easter, July 4th, Thanksgiving, etc., my family, along with other relatives, always go to their house. We have been close, and my parents have known their family for more than 30 years. To sum up, this group consists of about 25 people. Now, my immediate family and relatives were not invited to this wedding. We found out because another member of the group asked my parents how they were going to get there, and then they realized we aren't invited. I guess those people didn't know we weren't invited. Not surprised, as they probably assumed we're going. I'm not gonna lie, it did sting. I mean, I've basically known these people my entire life. It was confusing, since we meet multiple times a year for major events, and all of a sudden, we're not invited to their daughter's wedding. My parents are also relatively cool people, don't cause problems or anything. I can understand the frustration of my family, cousins, and relatives, but at the end of the day, they didn't invite us, and there is nothing we can do about it. However, my family's reaction to the situation was different. They basically had the mindset of, it's ridiculous they didn't put us on the list and we're gonna go. I did not agree with this and told them that I will not be attending, as I don't want to force myself in. Most of my cousins, siblings, and relatives essentially told me that I'm not supporting them and that I should understand how ridiculous this is. I told them that I understand why they're upset, but all they did was try and convince me as to why I'm wrong. Long story short, I ended up not going with them last weekend. One of my other cousins also did not want to go, but she was basically forced and felt pressured. According to her, things were very awkward at the wedding, with the bride's family for obvious reasons. I guess my family and relatives got lucky considering there weren't fixed tables, and people basically sat anywhere. Currently, the issue is that there is a sort of after event happening next week, and my family is going to go to that, which they aren't invited to as well. This past week has been whole worse than the last, with them telling me I'm not supportive of any of them and that I should understand. I just can't wrap my mind around going to something that I'm not invited to. It's as if everyone's worst traits came out these past 2 weeks. Am I the a-hole for crying and fighting with my boyfriend at his brother's wedding? So the ceremony was great. Beginning of reception was great. When it came to the father-daughter dance for the bride, I started tearing up because I lost my father many years ago. I'm 23, and I was already emotional from their vows and how sweet it all was. I started to really cry and was trying super hard to hold it in, but just couldn't. I was sitting in the front row, and someone noticed and came over to see if I was okay. I told them I was fine, but realized I'm becoming obvious, so I walked discreetly to the bathroom to be in private. After the dance, a few ladies came in, including my boyfriend's mom. They were so sweet and caring and told me I was fine to do what I did. I went back out, and my boyfriend asked me what happened. I told him if I tell him, I'll probably cry again, so we went for a walk outside. He told me he knew why I was crying and that everyone loves me and hugged me. Somehow in seconds, it turned into an argument where he told me, you are trying to steal all the attention and are making it all about you, and you don't actually love me. I'm the best man, and this is important, and you're making it all about you. Also, you should have just held in your tears. This is not the place for it. And not understanding I couldn't help it. I told him I purposely brought him outside so I wouldn't take any attention. So about 30 minutes of fighting later, I went for a walk, and he went back inside. I came back and met one of his friends outside. She consoled me, saying she spoke to him, and he was being an asshole, and I did my best to not be obvious. He then came out and apologized. And minutes later, the same argument arose again, and he said the same things. I said I'm not arguing anymore, and going in to get dinner. He found me at a table, and as we spoke, he started crying, saying he loves me so much. He was very drunk, so I brought him outside to contain himself, and we talked for 20 minutes or so outside. Came back in, and talked to friends/danced a little, but I wasn't feeling it much because of the arguments. Around 8:30 or so, I told him I wanted to go home, but he should stay because he's the best man. He insisted on coming home with me and didn't care about leaving early-ish. He was too drunk to find the door, and after I tried, he didn't care to say goodbye to bride and groom, super drunk. We said goodbye to his mom, and as we walked away, she followed, pointed at me, and said, "You ruined his day." And since then, the bride and groom have been upset with us. Bride blocked my Instagram. Parents haven't said anything yet. Boyfriend says it will resolve in time, but I have so much anxiety that everyone is mad, and I just want to fix it all. I'm not completely sure what everyone is angry about, whether it was me crying, or us arguing outside, or missing dinner, leaving early. Could be a combination. I want to take responsibility, but he thinks we should wait to talk about it with them. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my mom for putting Vicks Vapor Rub on me when I explicitly told her not to? To add context, I absolutely hate Vicks Vapor Rub, or basically any menthol rub oil essential oil. While I hear a lot of people talk about how good and cooling it feels, it's the complete opposite for me. It feels like it's burning my skin. It makes my eyes water, especially when it's applied on my forehead. It keeps me awake when I have it on at night. Absolutely does the It's just an overall uncomfortable experience. But despite all this, I still always have it applied on me when I'm sick, but it's always against my will. My mom, while I get she has good intentions, always puts it on me even when I'm just a little bit sick, despite my constant protest. She's been doing this since I was a kid. Even when I would cry and tell her to stop putting it on me, she yells at me to stay still and to stop whining about it. When I was older, I finally had enough and communicated on why I didn't want it every time she insisted on putting it on me. She would grumble afterwards and call me ungrateful, but thankfully, she didn't force it on me like she would all those times before. It wasn't until I had a week-long cold, and this one was particularly very annoying because it just wouldn't budge no matter what. The past week, she'd been offering to rub Vicks on me again like usual, but like the last few times I refused. This continued on. Then yesterday night came, and she was more adamant, and after a bit of arguing, she finally gave up and just let me be, or so I thought. I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night to my mom hovering over me and rubbing some Vicks on my temples. Of course I was startled, so I asked her what the hell she was doing. She jumped, 'cause she probably wasn't expecting me to wake up, and she told me she was just doing what was best for me. Immediately I felt the burning and rushed out of bed to get some wet wipes so I could take it off. And as I was doing so, she yelled at me to stop, and that I lost it at her and just started going off about how this was nowhere near to looking out for me, like she said. If she truly cared, then she wouldn't force something on me that I am clearly uncomfortable with. Then, for some reason, as I was trying to give out my points, she cut me off and started going on a tangent about how she owns me and that she could do whatever she wanted with me, even when I don't want it. Now this is the point of the story where I'm not proud of, and is the reason why I went to this sub in the first place. I then began to curse and tell her that she didn't own me, that I was my own person, that this is my body, and that just because she was my mother, I wasn't going to give her the right to treat me as someone who doesn't deserve any respect. She then cried and called me ungrateful once again, and left the house. It is currently the next day, and she hasn't come home yet.